Welcome back to Master Your Ash. I'm your host Michael Prisdale, and tonight I'm going to be smoking the Tatuaje Nice Ash 2015, also known as the Tatuaje for lack of a better terminology. Essentially, this was released in 2015 by Pete Johnson and Tatuaje in commemoration of the great partnership with the Nice Ash Cigar Lounge. It was an exclusive retail series that they were doing. There was the drinking age before this one, along with the Rumbo. One was for Anthony's Cigar Emporium, the other one was for Club Humidor, and all three came out in 2015, this one being for Nice Ash Cigars. This was also the only one that had 1,000 boxes of 10 cigars released. The other ones were 500 boxes of 15 cigars and 300 boxes of 21 cigars. So smaller amount in the box, but overall larger amount of boxes released. It was retailing for $11.99 MSRP. It is a 6x52 Bellicoso size with an Ecuadorian Sumatran Rosado wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and fillers, courtesy of My Father Cigars. This cigar was provided by our brother of the leaf, Mr. Cigar Hound Dog. Thank you, Matt, for giving me the opportunity to try this out. Looking forward to it. It's an exclusive series from Tatuaje that was a limited release that I had never seen up until you brought it up in conversation, so I am truly honored, and I'm so grateful. Off the cold draw, there's a little bit of mint along with a touch of hay, also some nice bready toasty notes. And depending upon how the Super Bowl ends, Matt, just want to let you know that I just lit this up as your team was scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl and bringing the game to 3 points in the third quarter, I believe. So good luck to your Chiefs, man. I figure if I smoke an exclusive cigar from Mr. Cigar Hound Dog, it will provide you with great luck during the Super Bowl. So we'll find out later when this review gets cut and edited if that was the case or not. Ecuadorian Sumatra Rosado wrapper, always a treat. And it absolutely starts off delicious. Very creamy, very nutty, ton of nice floral spice to it. Absolutely fantastic. This Tatuaje is really nice with strong cedar notes, cinnamon still very present on the retro hail, a little bit of pepper, mostly cinnamon, those baking spices on the retro. On the palate, ton of leather, a little bit of minerality and earthy notes to it. Very much an earthy, dark roasted coffee, leathery style cigar. That's where the flavors on the palate have remained for the initial startup. Smoking on down our Tatuaje W, and so far it has been a W. The first third is ending and we're beginning the second third with this nice upfront note of milk chocolate. Absolutely delicious. As well as the cinnamon notes and all of those baking spices kind of moving towards the back end now. So we can still taste them, both present on the retro and the palate. Along with the leather and the earth. It's very well balanced, and now that there's the upfront note of chocolate with the roasted coffee, it's turning into more of just an overall enjoyable cigar. Smoking on down our Tatuaje W, just took off the band, and this Bellicoso has been treating me very, very well. I have to say that the cinnamon baking spices have all maintained the course through and through. They are at the forefront once again. The chocolate kind of creamy notes have crept into the back, and we're left with more of this concentrated mineral note along with a little touch of leather and salinity. The overall sweet level has also picked up as the flavors have concentrated into the actual final third, and overall the cigar smoking experience has been pretty fantastic. I do think that at $11.99 MSRP, this is a box-worthy cigar. Obviously, it's going to be one that has to be had at the secondary market at this particular point in time, as it's an 8-year-old release. So a little bit harder for those to come by. And I would just like to thank Cigar Hound Dog Matt once again for allowing me the opportunity to smoke one that I did not even know existed. So thank you, brother. Really appreciate that. As far as pairings that I would recommend with this cigar, I think that you do really well. Your apple brandies of the world, your layered apple jacks and other apple jacks of the world would be really good. Cognacs, obviously, because they provide that wonderful grape varietal. Even like a pisco sour as far as cocktails would be fantastic. And for those like the vintage cigar out there that like their cranberry juice, I think that this is the perfect cigar for a little bit of cranberry juice. You get a little bit of bitter, a little bit of sweet, a little bittersweet. And I think that like fruit juices, especially dark fruit juices, you're really interesting to put some of those together. I also think in the whiskey sector, you know, if you get some bourbon where you get a little bit extra sweetness, not a whole bunch of mineral notes to kind of combat some of the minerality that's found in this stick, this would be a bourbon drinker cigar, and you could do yourself well with some bourbon. I know that Pete Johnson's a big fan of his red wines, and I can see like the less minerally red wines and the more jammy red wines being great pairings with this as well, especially some of those red blends out there. So this has been my review of the Tatuaje W, the Tatuaje Whore, as some of those would call it, from 2015. Thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, continuing to support Master Your Ash in all of its outlets variously. Speaking of outlets, we are available on Rumble at Master Your Ash, so please go ahead and like, subscribe on there as well so that we can continue to grow that particular channel. I really appreciate, you know, just as a backup in case anything ever happens to YouTube, you all checking out the Rumble page and following on Rumble as well. So thank you all again. I look forward to catching you for another Tatuaje cigar review.